Hello, welcome to the Podquest of Bread. Sorry I'm a little late going live tonight. We were out having a nice, enjoyable barbecue with some friends. Tonight I want to talk about elections, and I want to talk about elections because yesterday I was at a really amazing protest up in Philadelphia, Refuse Fascism Philly, and it was a great protest, and it was an awesome rally, but within it we had a lot of discussions on November 3rd, the election, and what post-election would look like. So I wanted to run through a couple scenarios here and talk about a couple possibilities that I discussed while I was up in Philadelphia with the crowd at Refuse Fascism. And some of these possibilities are a little scary, and it's a lot to think about and a lot to digest. But this election is going to have some serious implications no matter which way it goes. So the first possibility and the first idea that I want to talk about would be Trump winning. And I want to talk about that because it is the easiest one to break down. Donald Trump winning the election. What would that do to the political landscape for the next 4 years or more? And that's a serious thing to discuss. So if Donald Trump wins 2020, if Donald Trump continues to be president, he has 4 years of time that he can just do what he wants. See, the Donald Trump we've been seeing right now is more than likely a very mild version of what he actually is. What he's doing is actually more than likely a very mild version of what he seeks to do. If Donald Trump wins in 2020, he has 4 years of a presidency that he doesn't have to worry about securing voters for re-election. He has 4 years of a presidency to literally do what he wants. If he wants to exercise as many executive orders as he can to fundamentally change the United States, he could. Now, in his mind, in his supporters' mind, and in the Republican Party's mind, it would also solidify him as a champion. It would solidify him as the patriot that they say he is. It would solidify him as the king. A couple weeks ago, I did an episode called Hail to the King. I recommend watching that one to understand some of the implications of Donald Trump being positioned as this king and this ruler. Now, Donald Trump, having 4 years with a solidified base who feels that they are strong and that they can do anything they want, has some serious risks on democracy in the United States. Donald Trump has been declaring people to be terrorists for being anti-fascist. And the reason is because if he secures 4 more years, this country will go from a very slow march towards fascism to a literal fast-paced race towards fascism in a way we've never seen it in the United States. Donald Trump will try his best to attack all the things that put limits on his power. His people will try to do that. Now, we'll talk about something else that needs to happen if he wins to try and block some of his power in a minute here. But what I want to talk about next, the next idea, the next possibility would be Donald Trump losing in 2020. Now, if Donald Trump loses and Joe Biden wins, this is the scary implication. The first one is that Donald Trump will have 2 months in office where he can stew in his anger. Donald Trump losing in 2020 will result in the president having 2 more months to do whatever he wanted to do with 4 years. His finger will be on the nuclear button. He's still in control and in command of one of the largest militaries in the world. And he could use that to, within the presidential powers limits, do anything he seeks to do. Now, beyond that, we are going to be looking at a sparking point for unrest. And I'm not talking peaceful demonstration and peaceful civil unrest. I am talking full-blown guns blazing and people dying in the streets unrest. Because his base is so motivated. His base is so ready to fight the radical left. His base is so ready to target those who they deem as the ones who caused their great leader to lose. And that is a point that we have not been in this country in a long time. Now, going beyond that, what we will be looking at is Donald Trump, in his narcissistic ways, more than likely is going to do everything in his power to avoid being taken out of office. He will try to litigate the results of the election. He will challenge them. He will do everything possible and everything within his power to not accept the results, and he will have a very large base behind him ready to do that as well. They'll be in the streets. They'll be calling for the senators and the representatives in the House to investigate the election, to verify the results of the election, and to verify whether he actually lost. And what we'll be looking at is a contested election where on January 20th, Nancy Pelosi, more than likely, will assume the office of the presidency. This is a scary alternative that I see, because it will be one of the first elections where this occurs. Let me rephrase that. It will be the first election that this has ever occurred in, where the loser of the election does not want to accept the results of the election. Now, let's talk about other things that we have to have in mind, because the presidential election has so much attention, and rightfully so. It is one of the biggest things it is the biggest thing we will vote for. But we have to talk beyond that, because there are things that need to happen in both scenarios. So, we're going to talk about the scenario of Donald Trump winning, okay? And this is going to be looking towards congressional races. If Donald Trump wins the election, and I'm going to feel really weird saying this, but we're looking at this non-objectively. We're looking at this as what needs to occur. If Donald Trump wins the election, if Donald Trump maintains power in the White House, the Senate needs to flip blue. The Senate is currently red, and it needs to flip if Donald Trump wins, and the House has to stay blue. We would have to have a blue Congress in order to hopefully put a limit and put a lock on what Donald Trump does, okay? From there, they can investigate things that he does, and if they want to carry out another impeachment trial against him, and maybe they'll have success because they are blue. But if Donald Trump wins and the House flips red and the Senate stays red, there will be no limitations on what Donald Trump can do, because Donald Trump will know that the cronies he has in his party that have come in, and I got to put this little token of information and this little nugget in there. The people that are currently running are a lot of QAnon people. There are a lot of people that conspiracy drives them. This mysterious figure named Q drives their thought process, and it drives how they view politics and the things going on. And those people are the ones that we want to avoid flipping seats red. Those are the ones we want to avoid seeing red seats stay red with them. Because if Donald Trump wins the presidency and the House flips red, the Senate stays red, this country will see something it's never seen. This country will see a situation where the president has unlimited powers because the Senate and the House will refuse to act. House Democrats and Senate Democrats can do all they want if these flip red, but they'll get quashed in a simple vote. And that's what we have to avoid. If Donald Trump wins, these things must go blue, and they must stay blue. Now, if Joe Biden wins, we're not too worried about which direction the House flips, which direction the Senate flips. And the reason is because if Joe Biden wins, it's literally going to be, wash, rinse, repeat of, Barack Obama's presidency, George Bush's presidency, so on and so forth. We'll have two corporate parties arguing with each other and not working for us. And honestly, if that happens, it's good, because third parties will have an opportunity to capitalize on that and capitalize on the Senate and the House proving that they can't work together and how they're working for corporate interests. You know, a lot of people talk about how important an election is. And I generally scoff at that because it's just a way to vote shame people. It's a way to shame people into voting for someone based on populist demand. And I don't do that. I will say that this election is probably the most important election for the history of this country and the future of this country. I in no way, shape, or form will vote for Trump or Biden. I can't support either one of them, and I'm in a swing state. But I will say this, vote with your conscience, but understand, we have to understand the risks involved with this election. And really keep an eye on election night, which way the House goes, which way the Senate goes, and who's looking to top 270 first. Now, we have to look forward from the election, okay? Because as I said in a speech yesterday at this march, at this rally, we are all concerned about getting Donald Trump out of office. We are all concerned about quashing fascism in this country, okay? But we need to start looking past this already. We have to start looking towards November 4th, where whether Donald Trump's the president or not, we have to start looking at the things that needs to be fundamentally fixed. We need to start looking at how to help people. We need to look towards ending racism in this country, ending slavery in this country, ending the drug war, making sure people can afford to live. These are the things that we have to talk about, the fundamental changes that need to occur moving forward. Because right now, and everybody gets energized for election years like this one because it's the presidential election, and then they fall asleep. We can't let you fall asleep. You can't fall asleep November 4th. You can't just sit there and, if you're a Donald Trump supporter, go, yeah, Donald won. Or if Biden wins, Biden supporter, yeah, Biden won. The next day, just, okay, back to normal. We need to have a discussion about moving forward because I think people are starting to recognize that the corporate parties don't work for us. The corporate parties don't care about us. Green New Deal, Medicare for all. These types of things. Those are things that are of serious concern for people. Ensuring that people are paid a fair wage. That's a serious concern. Adjusting minimum wage to relate to inflation. That's a serious concern that people have. Ensuring that people can afford food. Ensuring that people are guaranteed a roof over their head. These things are the topics of conversation that we have to have. We have to have conversations November 4th moving on about how to get corporate money out of political parties. I'm going to tell you this right now. The cancer that is the two current corporate parties, we're not going to fix that. That's like putting a Band-Aid on a gaping wound. It's not going to work. The person's going to bleed out. Trying to fix the Republicans or Democrats from the inside, not going to happen. We need to look forward to a new party, and there just so happens to be a glimmer on the horizon of one that will actually work for the people and take corporate money out of the political game. We'll save that talk for another night. Tonight I wanted to just be able to focus on elections because having this conversation with people at this march yesterday really got me thinking. Are people truly seeing what we're what we're fighting against here, and what the future and what the history books will say? To recap, if Donald Trump wins, the Senate and the House have to go blue. There's no way around it. And if Joe Biden wins, we are looking at 2 months with a president who has his hand on the nuclear button and control of one of the largest militaries in the world. One of the largest and most advanced militaries in the world. And he will have the angry mob of supporters ready to go to war and defend him as he tries to challenge the results of the election. After which, we will just have more of the same old. The rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. Anyway, stay beautiful, humans.